Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're learning how to download files using a REST API. Imagine you want to let users download documents, images, or any other files from your server. This is exactly what we'll achieve. In the last video, we learned how to upload a file to the server. But what if you want to download the same file back from the server? That's exactly what we're going to cover today. We'll write an API that allows us to fetch and download files stored on the server. This will be super helpful for scenarios like downloading reports, images, or any type of document. Let's get started. Okay, let's start coding our download API. First, we'll annotate the method with @getMapping and set the URL path as /download/file/filename. Now, since we're passing the file name dynamically, we'll use @path variable to capture it. Notice that in the @getMapping, I'm not adding a produces attribute. Why am I doing this? Because we want this endpoint to support downloading any type of file, be it images, PDFs, Excel sheets, or anything else. By not specifying produces, the server dynamically determines the file type at runtime and sends the correct content type to the client. This is super flexible and helps us avoid hard-coding specific MIME types. We're going to use Spring's resource interface to work with the file. Now, if you check your imports, you'll notice multiple resource options showing up. It's important to pick the right one. We need the resource from Spring Framework, specifically org.springframework.core.io resource. Why? Because it's built to handle file operations in a way that integrates seamlessly with Spring's ecosystem, making it easier for us to read files and send them back to the client. Define a method, say download file. And it'll take @path variable string file name as a parameter. This will capture the file name directly from the URL. Okay, so now let's make our file download process a little more foolproof. We want to ensure that if anything goes wrong, we can handle it smoothly. So first, let's add a try-catch block around our code. This is like a safety net. If something unexpected happens, we can send a 500 internal server error. Next, we define the file path where our files are stored. In this case, the files are located in the /users/user1/downloads demo. Create a path object using the pathsGet method, appending the file name to the folder path. Next, create a resource object. Now, since resource is an interface in Spring, we can use one of its implementing classes. We'll use URL resource, which is a class that helps us work with resources from a URL. Create a new URL resource object, passing the path.toURI as the URI to the constructor. Now that we have our resource object, we need to check if the file actually exists and is readable. We can do this using two methods provided by the resource interface, exists and is readable. Call resource.exists to check if the file exists at the specified location. If it does exist, we then check if it is readable using resource.isReadable. So, if the file exists and is readable, we proceed with the next steps of returning the file. But if either check fails, we return a not found response, which means the file isn't available or accessible. Now that we've verified the file exists and is readable, the next thing we need to do is determine the content type of the file. Use the files.probeContentType path method to probe the file and find out what type of content it is, like an image, PDF, or text file. However, sometimes probe content type might not be able to determine the content type. So we handle that case by setting a default content type of application/octetstream. This is a generic content type used for binary data, so even if we can't identify the file type, it ensures that the file will still be downloadable. Next, we need to ensure that the browser knows the file should be treated as a download. To do that, we use the content disposition header. This header tells the browser to prompt the user to download the file, rather than display it directly in the browser. Then create the response using response_entity.ok. And set the content disposition header.
Next, set content type.
And the file itself as the body of the response. Alright, we have everything set up. Now let's start the application and test the endpoint. Application is up and running.
Now, let's open Postman.
And set up our GET request with the URL, localhost 8080/download/file/. Since we used the file name as a path variable, we need to send the actual file name in the URL when we make the request. I'm using the demo folder in my setup. So I'll choose a file from there. For example, if I have a file named dummy.pdf, I'll send this in the URL. You can use the file from your own folder.
Click on Send.
As you can see on the screen, the PDF content is now visible, which means our file download API is working correctly. Now, let's take a look at the header section. Here, you'll notice the content disposition header. This header tells the browser that the file should be treated as an attachment. Because of this header, the file is being downloaded rather than displayed in the browser. The attachment type in the header is what tells the browser to download the file. Without this header, the browser would try to open the file instead of downloading it. Now, as you can see in Postman, we've successfully received the file with the correct content type displayed as application/PDF. This is exactly what we expect when downloading a PDF file. Alright, now let's test it with another image. I'll use the same URL we just tested but change the file name to one of the images in my demo folder.
Hit Send again.
Now, take a look at the response. And in the content type header, it will show image/PNG. Alright, that's a wrap for today. We've successfully learned how to download files from a REST API. From handling different file types to setting up the necessary headers for smooth downloads, you now have all the tools you need.
But wait.
Next up, we're diving into how to upload images using REST template and web client. So, stay tuned because you don't want to miss that. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you're the first to know when the next video drops. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.